Hey again, everybody. Um, Today I want to talk about dissociation. Um, and I have my retainers in, so my voice might sound a little weird. um, but not dissociation, like, because there's dissociative disorder, and there's a medical side to it. There's a psychological side to dissociation. But more so, I want to talk on kind of, uh, I guess another way of putting it is like the detachment from the present moment, sort of thing, or dissociating yourself with what's going on around you currently, which I guess is just dissociation. Um, anyway, I just kind of want to talk about this in a context of social situations and kind of what has happened to me recently. Um, and I don't know if it is something I can label as truly being dissociative or just kind of taking a step back mentally and kind of looking at a wider perspective of things, um, or I guess not allowing myself to live in the moment type deal. And I'll kind of explain kind of some examples of this that I've had recently. Um, so so I've been making friends, going to the hot tub, and kind of put myself out there and talking to people. Um, and I do this decently often when I'm talking to people, especially like new people that I haven't talked to a whole lot. Also, the gameplay, I die a couple times in this, so that's kind of embarrassing. Anyway, it was a hard raid. um, but just kind of when I'm talking to other people, and not that I kind of detect that maybe there's a lack of interest on their side, or maybe I'm not fully interested in the conversation from my side. Um, but and we're just kind of talking. And if there's a break in the conversation, or you know, kind of other people in it are having their own conversation, and I'm just kind of there. Um, it's really easy. I kind of step back mentally, and I just kind of look at myself. And I'm like, okay, like I'm here, I'm with these people, and I'm talking, and but it doesn't really feel like I'm there. You know, sometimes it kind of feels like I don't know. It's really hard to explain feeling. But almost like I'm not supposed to be there. And not that I'm there with like negative people. There are very very nice people, and um, but sometimes I'll just kind of look and kind of think like, why am I here? What am I doing? Is there something else I should be doing? Um, and it's really hard to live in the moment. Um, and I was kind of thinking about dissociation also in the context of broader things. Um, Kind of just with everything, which is a blanket statement, but like that same mentality when it comes to school, when it comes to work, when it comes to um, anything I'm pursuing. And I guess this would be more of an imposter syndrome, but kind of that feeling where you suddenly feel like you're not meant to be there, or you suddenly feel like you are pretending to be something that you are not, or that you can't be, or that you're not supposed to be, you know. And so it's it's really really hard sometimes to shake that feeling. It's really hard to not feel like, am I fooling myself? Am I lying to myself? Kind of saying that I can do this, or like when I tell other people that I'm into this thing, or that I do this thing, how truthful am I being? And so I don't know, things like that. But my thoughts on it aren't completely organized. But just patterns that I'm seeing it in myself that I'm kind of picking up on. And so also with the dissociation, um, and more so in a different way of saying it as separating yourself from a situation, um, or kind of using that to take a step back and kind of look at a broader picture. Um, I think it can be a really useful thing sometimes. Um, and I know people that actually have a disorder with dissociation. Of course, it's not ever a useful thing. But I guess what I'm saying is people who can kind of, when you are able to step back from a situation emotionally, or mentally, it can be very, very empowering. It can kind of allow you to, just reset and take a different approach than what you were taking prior. And, and I kind of notice this sometimes when I am initially meeting people or initially going into something, and I kind of, you can kind of feel like the vibe is off. Like, okay, it kind of feels weird that I'm here. Like, this doesn't quite feel right. Something's off. Something's telling me that this is off. And kind of listening to that and kind of like stepping back and being like, okay, like what about this is different than what I usually do? And that could just be a feeling of, because it's a new thing, it's a change, which in itself isn't inherently a bad thing, but kind of listening to that feeling, that instinct of something's off. And I haven't really had anything like that per se, but I guess really I have my guard up more with people, just because of recent things, and so I kind of like am hyper aware of things where I kind of am analyzing it, and I'm like, all right, like given this recent, experience, I'm looking at things that of course I'm trying to avoid, that I've learned from this experience. So, kind of being hyper aware of that and really looking at it like, okay, like is this something that can turn into a friendship or something more, or, like with how this person is right now, like, just patterns in social behavior and, kind of the psychology of it, which is fascinating. But also for me, it's like, the good and bad, the green flags and the red flags. And, and it's very, that's not really dissociation. And I don't know if that's what I'll end up titling this video or not, because I'm just kind of rambling on, kind of just how these past social experiences have kind of made me feel and how I felt in them. But I mean, overall things have been better. I have met a lot of new people. I've been, it's felt like I've had more things going on, because break was a, I was going from state to state, a lot of driving, a lot of moving around. So Thanksgiving break was a lot last week, but now we're in finals mode. So everybody's thinking about school. I really only have this week and next week of actual classwork time, and then it's finals, and so it's moving pretty fast. But definitely emotionally and mentally, I'm in a way better spot than I was, and I can see that now, and that's what's good, is I can see the improvement, and I can see the growth after having this kind of dark period and kind of the inhale. I'm beginning to have an exhale, and I'm having that pressure released because I've taken steps to allow it to happen. And I've gotten a little bit more comfortable in my own skin, a little bit more comfortable with my own image and how I present myself. And I've proven to myself that I'm still capable of socializing. I'm still capable of doing good and being good, and striving to be a light for people, and bring about positivity. And some days it's really hard too. And there's some days where it's just kind of neutral. I don't really feel like doing either. Not that I really ever feel like doing harm intentionally, but just kind of those neutral days. Um, but kind of accepting all of it, and bringing everything with it, and being there for it. 90% of life is just showing up, and I'm really trying to hammer that home within my soul, and so yeah. But hey, other than that though, everything else is going pretty well. I'm getting in better shape. I've been in good shape. A little bit of a downturn, and now I'm kind of on the way back up. I've been doing cardio every day, which is good. And still hitting everything, and so physically I'm doing pretty well, which definitely buffs the mental health as well. And emotionally, there's flare-ups, and there's definitely periods of time where I can't stop thinking about certain things and those mental loops and all that stuff. But I think I'm getting to a point where it's a lot easier to think about other things when those thoughts come up, and it's getting easier to kind of recognize the patterns. And you're like, okay, I know if I keep thinking about this, I'm just gonna feel bad. So just don't think about it, and it's kind of easier, especially having other things going on socially and things like that, where I can kind of be like, all right, I'm gonna think about this thing instead. So yeah, but yeah, I'll probably end up titling the video "Dissociation." It'll kind of be about that, but yeah, kind of a ramble. But those are my thoughts for today. And yeah, so let me know what you guys think, and thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.